do methods of collecting data. Obviously surveys are great. Just want to list a few. I'm on page 37. Again, we're not actually physically doing maths just yet. We just got to get the foundations right for this new topic. So here we go. Right, number one method, ways of collecting data. We can conduct a face-to-face interview. Right, one way of doing it. We can conduct a telephone survey. So that means calling people up and asking a whole load of questions off a sheet and then just ticking their responses or giving them the options or giving them a scale of 1 to 10, how much you agree, how much you disagree, that sort of thing. So all face-to-face interviews, that's the same sort of thing. Number 3, you can conduct a survey but by sending out a mail shot. You can, say for example, post the same questionnaire to everyone in a certain postcode. So here we go, that's called a postal survey. You can conduct an email survey, obviously very cheap. Obviously people's spam settings may affect that, or they may choose just to delete a mail shot from somebody that they don't even know, so for safety's sake, you know, security and what have you. So it could be an email survey. Another method of surveying people and gathering information is just to make your own observations. Just observe. I'll expand on that later. Number 6 is to conduct a simple controlled experiment. And the last one I've got here is dead easy. It's called data logging. Now, first of all, face-to-face survey, it just says what it says. It's meeting people face-to-face and conducting a little interview to gather the information that you're looking for. Advantage, well, you can explain complex questions more adequately to people if you're with them face-to-face, and also if they have a question about your questions, you can explain things more clearly. Right, advantage. Number 1, you can explain things more clearly. Disadvantage, I want to call that sort of 2 really. Make a little line here, try and make it all fit in there. Disadvantage, very time consuming. Takes a lot of time. If you're going to have to talk to everyone yourself face to face, it's going to take a very long time. Telephone survey, exactly the same sort of problem really. Again, you can explain to people clearly what they need to understand in order to answer you honestly, but again it takes an awful long time working like that. So I just want to rule that one off. Postal survey, well, that's sending out obviously lots of letters by post, or little survey slips by post. That's exactly what that is. Right, what's the advantage of that? Well, people can take their time and answer the survey on paper at leisure. So it's convenient for people. They can answer at leisure. In other words, when they're ready to answer it, they will. Disadvantage, if you get something through the post that you're not expected, and you're expecting and you don't want to answer it, hey, there's no immediate compulsion. You know, people just throw it away quite easily. So there could be a poor response and return rate. So they may even actually fill half it in or even all of it in, but can't bother to post it really. So that's pretty bad, isn't it? Email surveys, exactly the same thing. People can answer it at their own convenience, but they don't have to if they don't want to, and so you can't expect too many to come back to you through email because it's very easy for people just not to respond in any way. Now, that's another little set in their own right. Rule that off if I can. Observation. This I'm just reading from page 37 now. It means observing the situation directly. For example, you can count cars at a motorway junction or observe someone to see what shopping they buy. Alright, so what's the good news about that? Very little cost involved. It's likely to be very reliable because you're doing the observations yourself. Now the disadvantage is if a person realizes they're being observed for any reason, they may not act naturally, in which case the result that you're going to get won't be the result that you would get had the person not realized they were being observed. So how can I put that simply? Right, people could act unnaturally if they know they're being observed. Alright? So, very reliable, or people could act unnaturally if they know they're being observed, and that is in fact a disadvantage. Alright? Secondly, if somebody else makes the observation, they may not in fact see the same sort of things that you may see, in which case if you go and do the same sort of observation in different places, then you may not be bringing back reliable comparable data. Alright? Now, controlled experiments, what's that? If I wanted to find out, for example, how long it took me to get from home to school every single day for the next month, that will be a controlled experiment. I'm going from home to school, and of course there's things like traffic lights, hold-ups, traffic jams, all the rest of it, but at least I can gather data that I'm in control of. I'm in control of getting from home to school, although what may happen on the way may impact the level of control I may have on that journey. So for example, timing cars along a particular piece of road is an experiment. Advantage, results could be reliable, and they can be repeated. So results can be repeated. Alright, it's not like a one-off hit. So for example, Monday I go from home to school, Monday home to school, etc. home to school. I can repeat the results and see if there's any sort of trend. Is it busier? Does it take longer on a certain day than others? Then I can do some statistics on that and report my findings. Disadvantage. It says here the experiments may need special equipment or expertise. Another thing, getting the right conditions for the experiment may be difficult, costly, or time consuming. So like I mentioned, if I'm going to time how long it takes to go from home to school or from home to work, the fact that I could get wildly different results, it depends on the fact that there could be traffic or other motoring incidents or happenings along the way which will affect my results. Alright, so outside, that's not right, let's just do that carefully. Back to that, right. Outside factors may affect the level of control. Alright, outside factors may affect the level of control. As far as I'm concerned, home to school, that's what I'm in charge of. What can impact my journey from home to school is really outside my control. Alright? Although I'm trying to find out how long it takes me, and I can in fact repeat my result. Now, data logging uses a machine called a data logger, for example. Does what it says on the tin. So for example, if I want to count the number of people electronically who come into a supermarket on every day of the week, every hour of every day of the week, I can get some fantastic results. Now let the machine do it. So it's I can collect data continuously. So I call it continuous data collection, because the machine won't get tired, so I can gather all the data, plug it into my computer and do some wonderful things with it. So I let the machine do the counting, but that's about all it can do, the data logger, and it can be like switched on for weeks on end, and we'll then analyse the data later. Now, about this machine. It's a machine, therefore as a disadvantage, machines can break, they can fail, they can stop working at exactly the wrong time, and you're left thinking, now must I repeat all that for the next 3 weeks? So basically machines or devices can fail. By that I mean they could break. Alright, so need to review that slightly, look at all the different methods of gathering data, from face-to-face, phone surveys, postal and email surveys, doing direct observations, conducting controlled experiments, or using a data logging machine to get the information required in a continuous way. Hopefully if it doesn't break, it'll be fine. So let's just sign that off, and that's the end of that for now. Do some reading, obviously look at page 37.